Am I the asshole for installing a lock on the bathroom door after my brother-in-law kept barging in? My F25 husband's M30 brother, Bill, M33 moved in with us after his divorce few weeks ago. The problem I have is that he started barging into the bathroom whenever I'm using it. He never knocks or anything. Another thing is that he only does this when it's me in the bathroom, not his brother. I told my husband about what I'd noticed, but he laughed it off and called me paranoid. It was embarrassing because his brother would see me exposed and it made me uncomfortable. My husband said he spoke to him and he apologized but did it again. When my husband and I got married, we promised to not have locks or lock each other out of any room. So the bathroom didn't have a lock. I was really considering getting a lock, and I let my husband know that if his brother walks in on me in the bathroom one more time, then a lock will instantly be installed. He didn't say anything. Well, yesterday, brother-in-law walked in on me showering. He knew I would be in the shower but barged in anyone claiming he needed to pee. I had enough. I went out and got a lock and installed it. My husband got home, saw it and blew up on me saying I violated an agreement that I was part of, and went against his wishes, being uncomfortable with locks in the house. He demanded I remove it and promised and guaranteed that his brother won't walk in on me again, but I refused. He's been pissed about it since then and is giving the silence treatment. Info: I'm not close with my Bill, my husband is. I don't even talk to him that much and I barely even sat with him at any gathering before he moved in with us. Pat date. So before I provide an update on this situation, it's worth noting that my brother-in-law used to do this with the bedroom too, but at least I'm not always exposed in the bedroom. So my husband came home and I told him the lock will not be removed till his brother leaves, and his reaction was to try and remove the lock himself and tell me to quit acting childishy. What I did was not shout or scream but pack a bag and go to my mom's house for the next few days or so till this gets resolved somehow. On my way out I saw my brother-in-law in the driveway smoking. He knew what the argument between me and my husband was about, but instead of stepping up to fix it he offered to take me to my mom's house, saying that my husband could use some space from me. This made me cry the whole Uber ride to my mom's house. The reason I feel offended is because brother-in-law tend to be hurtful when he talks about others. I did all I could to win his approval, but he thinks less of me and thinks I'm childish, just like my husband says. When my husband and I got married, we promised to not have locks or lock each other out of any room. That seems a tad unhealthy. Even the best relationships need boundaries and everyone deserves the option of privacy. Let me guess, your husband suggested the no locks idea first. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The no locks thing was a agreement between you and your husband. When his brother move in, it wasn't you and your husband anymore, and therefore the agreement comes to a hold. Tell your husband the lock can be removed as soon as his brother is moving out. Am I the asshole for taking money from the dress budget we had to pay for the iPad my fiancé's kid broke? My fiancé and I are getting married in 3 months. We both have a kid from a previous relationship. My daughter Spencer, 15F, and her daughter Emma, 8F. The kids get along just fine. Not really close because of their ages, but they're friendly and good. My ex and I bought Spencer an iPad last year and she uses it most than she uses her laptop. She draws in it both as a hobby and for school. She has some kind of diary and several other things I don't know because I'm not an Apple person. She takes her iPad everywhere to the point my ex has bought her several cases and things to personalize it. Emma likes it because it looks cute, but both my fiancé and I have tell her that she's not allowed to use it and that we will buy one for her soon. My fiancé said after the wedding, since we're on a budget now, and I agreed because she's the one calling the shots on Emma. Well, Emma likes to sit by the stairs and watch videos on my fiancé's phone. 5 days ago, she took Spencer's iPad and sat there. She got scared when she heard my fiancé calling her and dropped it. It broke the screen completely and my daughter was so sad. I took it to see if it could be fixed, but the guy said that it'll be cheaper to just buy another one. My fiancé said that we could get it when we get Emma's, but that wasn't fair since my daughter shouldn't have to wait that long for a mistake Emma made. Then my fiancé said all of her money is currently going to her bridesmaids and mom dresses, and I said I'll take the money from there and buying Spence a new one. I guess she didn't believe me because she laughed, and the next day I went to buy it and paid for the card we use for the wedding expenses. It has both of our money in it. Both my fiancé and I receive notifications when we use it, and I got home. I dropped my daughter at my ex's. She came at me, calling me an asshole and saying she'll now have to get cheaper dresses. She's calling me an asshole because I stole from her. I didn't, as I said. It has both of our money and it's a shared account. And says Spence could have waited a bit. Not the asshole. Emma broke an iPad she was expressly told she was not to touch. You told your partner you would be using money to replace it from a joint account. Everyone sucks here and you two need to learn to communicate better about finances now. You were absolutely right that Spencer should not have to wait to get her iPad replaced when Emma broke it. But you should have had a real conversation with your fiancée about it and not just told her you were taking money she was counting on using for wedding expenses. Financial disputes are a huge reason why marriages fail. Learn to work things out like adults before you get married. Not the asshole. If Spencer had learned your fiancé wouldn't replace it and would make her wait till later, how would she feel about your soon-to-be wife? Life is about more than her wedding. Not the asshole. Her daughter broke it. She needs to pay. Am I the asshole for refusing to return my neighbor's special binoculars unless his wife comes and gets them? Hi. IF28 recently moved into a new neighborhood. All my neighbors are lovely. Especially my next-door neighbor, bless his heart, wink wink. He's married and has 2 kids. I noticed that he's been looking towards my house for a while. So far I'd caught him doing it twice. He had his binoculars with him and was basically, seemingly looking at my living room. I hate confrontation, so what I did was close the curtains and go about my day, but it started escalating. The other day he was peeking at my backyard, where I was sitting, from his balcony, and his binoculars fell in my backyard. I looked up and he was gone. He knew that I saw him. I took the binoculars and put them inside. In the evening, he came knocking on my door asking how I was done and whatnot. I rolled my eyes but kept it civil. He then brought up the binoculars and said that they must have fell in your backyard earlier today. I was like, wonder how that happened. He said something about his kids probably messing with them and asked if I could go get them for him. I said I have them but I won't give them to him unless his wife comes and gets them herself. He looked at me shocked and angry and said that these binoculars are his, and they're special because he has them from when he was in military. And said that his wife has nothing to do with this. I told him that I will give them back once his wife shows up and asks for them. All he has to do is send her over. He threw a fit saying he can't send her because then she'll misunderstand the situation. I told him there is not misunderstanding if they're kids, we really the ones using the binoculars, and insisted I won't give them back till his wife comes and gets them. We got into an argument but he kept his voice as low as he could, then left looking furious. He's been complaining about me wanting to stir drama, and keeps demanding I return his binoculars back to him and leave his wife out of it. Am I the asshole? ETA forget his age. He's 37. Not the asshole. Honestly, good for you for standing your ground on it. The whole situation is creepy AF. Alternatively, to avoid, potentially, the police getting involved, you could wait till he's not home and take them to the wife yourself. Not the asshole. Your neighbor is a creep. He knows he's doing something wrong and he's trying to get away with it. I'm sure other neighbors have noticed. If you see creepy's wife, see if you can talk to her. Get some cameras and close the curtains facing their house. If he's watching you in the yard again, snap a photo and call the cops. Am I the asshole for refusing to change rooms despite being the most practical thing? My 16F dad, 36M, married his wife, Becca, 42F. 2 years ago. She has 3 kids, 14F twins and 12M. And I've known them for 5 years now and I don't really get along with them apart from my step-brother. For some clarification, my mom is not in the picture anymore and neither is their dad. My dad just received my grandparents' house. Granny passed away, and we're planning to move there. It has the same amount of rooms, 4. But it has a bigger yard, a basement, and my dad says we can get a pool in a few years. I used to spend weekends at my grandparents' and so, I already have a room there, my dad's old room. My grandparents made some renovations so I could have my own bathroom and a bigger closet there. So when my dad said we were moving, he said I had to get rid of half of my furniture because I already have stuff there. I'll admit, my room there is nicer than the one I have here because I was my grandparents' only grandchild and they kept it modern. It was obvious that I was going to keep my room there. Becca didn't said anything that time because she didn't know the room had a full bath and a walk-in closet yet. They visited the house last week to start moving some stuff while my step-siblings and I were at school, and at night, during dinner, Becca said that I would have to choose some other room because the girls should get the one I use. Both my dad and I were confused, and she said it was better and the most practical thing, since the twins were 2 and they needed a bigger closet and would be better for them to have their own bathroom. I said sorry, but no, because my grandparents did all those modifications for me and that has been my room for as long as I could remember. The girls and her wanted to push the subject, but my dad didn't let them and told my stepmom that they're gonna talk later. I guess my dad shut the thought down because the twins have been sulking and my stepmom asked me to give it a thought, because it wasn't fair for my sisters. The twins straight out called me an asshole and my friend said I should give up the room because it's true that they need the space more. So am I the asshole? ETA. I'm not moving out in 2 more years. This is not the US and people do not tend to move out after high school. Most of us attend college locally and is normal for people to live with their parents until their mid to late 20s. Not the asshole, but ask your dad if you can get a lock for your door so your dad's new wife doesn't try to force the issue. Not the asshole. It really doesn't matter what the twins want. That room has been yours for years. When your stepmother's parent passes and leaves them a house, they can keep the room they have at that house. As for them being salty about not getting it, tough noogies. I hate to be the one to say this, but I'd talk to your dad if I were you and make sure he has a will that leaves the house to you. This has Cinderella vibes all over it. Hopefully your dad is around for a long, long time, but things happen. And, not the asshole. Not the asshole, and I'm glad your dad stood up for you. And legally I hope your dad leaves your grandparents' house to you. No free house for your stepfamily.